Yes.
And were you able to see into Miss Cowan's vehicle?
No.
Now, I know we had gone over this before, so when she went in front of you, um, what if anything, can you describe to us, did the interior look like?
I can't tell you what the interior looked like. It was too dark.
And if someone has correct window tint, are you able to see how many people are in the vehicle?
Yes.
Are you able to kind of tell what the interior of the vehicle looks like?
Somewhat, yes.
All right. Now, if someone's a lay person, is their experience different than what your experience would be as an officer and being able to tell as a vehicle passes if it's too dark of a window tint?
You said if somebody was a what person? I'm sorry.
A lay person versus someone like you with experience.
Correct.
And um, have you been using this technique for a while?
Yes.
And have you become more experienced at using it on a daily basis?
Yes.
And when you stopped this car, did you eventually test the window tint?
Yes.
What was the window tint reading of the vehicle when you were able to test it?
I'd have to refer to my report. I don't have it in front of me. I'd have to pull it up real quick if that's okay with the court.
Did you prepare a report to reflect your recollection?
I did.
Did you have an independent recollection of it when you prepared your report?
Yes.
And are you needing it to just refresh that recollection?
Yes.
Your Honor, may he refer to his report?
Yes.
I'm sorry. This was in the old system, Jill. I'm trying to get it all pulled up.
Okay.
It was 11% window tint,
What is the legal percent in the state of Kansas?
35%.
And now, Deputy, when you fill out your probable cause affidavit, because I know this question was asked at the prior hearing on the same exact motion to suppress, um, is the probable cause affidavit designed to be an end all be all of everything you do on a traffic stop?
No.
What is it only for your probable cause bare minimum?
Just for the arrest.
All right. Do you explain every time you go through a case, all of your experience or how you use specific testing?
No.
And so, is there anywhere in your report you explain how you use your experience and this technique of checking windows?
Not that I believe.
Um, I will pass this witness to the defense.
Cross-examination, Mr. De Hoyos.
Judge, thank you, sir. Deputy Fisher, I want to make sure I understand the way in which you determined the windows were too dark. How long did you have to observe the vehicle that you pull over?
I don't know an approximate time frame. I mean, she was driving by at highway speeds.
Okay, and that highway, that's US 54 or 54 400, is that what that is?
400,
Forgive me, 400. Is 70 there? 75?
65.
65, okay. Um, Middle of the night, right?
Correct.
And you say that the technique you employed was you had you flash your high beams to see if you could see through the windows, is that right?
I don't flash them, I sit with them on
Okay. So you sit with them on and help me understand what happens after that.
as the vehicle drives by and make my observations.
Okay. And is there, I mean, is this a lawfully approved technique? I mean, is there a sheriff's or a county association or any kind of police association that approves of this technique?
Mm, Not that I know of. I mean, it's reasonable suspicion. She drove by, saw that the window tint appeared to be too dark, so I had reasonable suspicion to believe that the window tint was too dark, so I initiated the traffic stop.
So hear me out, Deputy Fisher. I appreciate that. When it comes to the lawful definition of reasonable suspicion, all that, I'm not worried about that. I'm trying to understand the facts. And the fact is, you use a technique that has not been supported by any lawful community that or law community that you're aware of.
No, we
Okay.
all use it.
Okay. Have you ever seen a study in the error rates of something like that between the difference of being able to identify too dark and not too dark?
No.
Do you think that difference would allow you to understand negligible difference, like the difference between 33% and 37% dark?
If I took a class, it might.
Okay. But as you stand there, your experience is not allowed you to decipher differences like that in a passing glance.
You said what?
As it stands right now, you don't have the experience to be able to say that in a passing glance what percent the window tint is.
I can't tell an exact percentage, no. And I don't think anybody would be able to tell an exact percentage, but I know that if a vehicle is driving by and I can't see into the vehicle, it's reasonable to believe that it is too dark.
Okay, so if somebody drove past you while they're holding a blanket against the window, does that mean their window tint is too dark?
No,
Okay, but that would still create the same effect that you not being able to see through the windows and then pulling them over because the window tint is too dark, even though that wouldn't be true, right?
I would disagree with that.
Okay, which part?
Well, if the window tint was not too dark and they drove by and they were holding a blanket up, I would be able to see that they were holding something up. As she drove by, I wasn't able to see her or any other person in the vehicle, indicating that the window tint itself was too dark.
And are there any outside circumstances that can affect your judgment as to the lightness or darkness of the window tints as they fly by you at 65 miles an hour?
As in,
Oh, I don't, in a storm, would you just make the same call? Would you make the same pullover and same arrest?
I mean, it could alter some, I guess, but no, not really.
What if it's an all black background that they go against?
If it's an all black background, there was no other lighting where we were, so it was an all black. We were
Okay.
sitting stationary in the middle of the county, and the only high beam headlight or the only lighting that was shining on the car was my high beam headlights.
Yeah. No, I guess what I'm asking is if on the other side of that car was all black, that you don't think that would affect the way you reviewed that car? It wouldn't make things look darker than they were?
I'm not understanding your question. I don't see what an all black backing would be on the other side of a vehicle.
I'm just trying to see if that makes a difference. If the background was all black versus nothing else back there, would that make a difference about the transparency of those windows?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. So at the time in which you observed the defendant's vehicle, was it by itself or was there any other vehicle within its proximity?
It was by itself.
Okay. So if the video of you observing that, I think it was a Chevy Sonic, demonstrates that it was right next to and alongside an 18-wheeler that was all black and that you observed it with the all black background, that would not be consistent with your memory and the way you would do this technique. Is that correct?
I mean, from what I can recall, like I said, I haven't been through the video, I haven't been through the report. From what I can recall, what I saw was her. I wasn't paying attention to any other vehicle. And it was the front passenger side window that I was paying attention to. She was closest to me. We were in a 4-lane highway. She was heading eastbound. She was the closest vehicle to me. So I was looking at that window specifically.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I have Jill, I have a or a dash cam video. This is 234A that I want to admit, but I've never tried to admit a video on Zoom Court.
You have to log in your laptop generally separate from whatever device you're on for Zoom so that there's you and the separate video. And then you have to admit the laptop separate and then pull up your video and play it. And there's a share screen request that has to be on by the court's AA.
I wish I had known all of that before I got in here today. Okay. Well, Judge, I could move to admit to that video so you could see it, watch it on your own time. I mean, it's the video of him, what he would have seen as she went by and the background behind it. And you can suspend ruling until such time as you've seen that video yourself. I think the video speaks for itself.
Well, let's do it. Okay, these are misdemeanor charges, correct?
No, sir, that's what gives rise to the ability to have the hearing, is because the misdemeanor DUI becomes a felony DUI.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, figure out so the court can view what is in question, and we can take a few minutes to do all that. Okay, court's in recess off the record, and I'll let everyone stumble and fumble around as best you're able to get that accomplished so the court can view what Deputy Fisher viewed.
May we turn the cameras off while in recess?
You can turn off your video.
Alan, I think you'll have to admit my laptop, please.
Just did.
And is share screen on? Okay.
I'm checking.
Are you ready?
Yeah, it sounds like we're gonna admit through Jill's computer, the same video.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you on the new laptop you just admitted. We've got video of you in the other one.
Yeah. Because I have to switch over sound for the computer.
Yeah, sorry about this, guys.
When Judge is back, I'll be ready.
And then Jill, would you stipulate the foundation on this one?
Oh, yeah, it's our video.
We're back on the record. Record may reflect presence of the defendant along with respective counsel. Please proceed, Mr. De Hoyos.
So, Your Honor, I'm going to move to admit Defendant's Exhibit A. This is the dash cam video from Officer Fisher's vehicle that demonstrates what he would have seen as the vehicle the defendant was driving passed by at 65 miles an hour on US 400.
Any objection by the state? Miss Gillette.
No, Your Honor.
The exhibit is admitted into evidence and the
I like to love in the victim. How do you do? They really feel my baby's cry and I lost in they'll do much more. They will know in that someday we should bounce up, wake up with bells of love behind. Trouble bells like a lemon drop. I will let you up this way.
Judge, if I may resume cross-examination.
Yes, please resume cross-examination of the Deputy Fisher.
Just real quick here, Deputy, that's a true and accurate copy of the video that would have been observed from your dash cam that night. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And there was at least another vehicle on the roadway, that being the semi that was behind the defendant's vehicle. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you agree that that's a little different than the testimony that there was another vehicle with it? There was another vehicle with it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. That's all I got for you, Deputy. I appreciate that.
Any redirect, Miss Gillette?
Yes, Your Honor. Now, Deputy, he's asked you lots of questions about what was behind the vehicle, but you said you were concentrated on the front window and inside. Does it matter what's behind the vehicle?
No.
And your testimony was that you're focused on the window. Are you focused on being able to see what's in the vehicle versus behind the vehicle?
Yes.
Now, I kind of alluded to this before. I get to spend a lot more time with deputies and talk to them. The same when you're doing these window tints.
Yes.
But you need radar to tell what the exact speed is.
Correct.
So if a vehicle is approaching you from the front, do you change your radar to your front?
Yes.
If the vehicle is approaching from the back, what do you do if it's approaching from the back?
Switch my radar to the rear.
And you said all of us do this test. What do you mean by all of us?
Like deputies and officers in general, we use the same practices.
So, to your knowledge, are there other deputies using the same practice of using the high beams to see into the vehicle to see window tint darkness?
I would assume so, yes.
Do you do it on a frequent basis?
I do.
How often would you say you do this?
Every night that I work.
Judge, I'm gonna object to the relevance of these questions. If the strategy is inappropriate from the beginning, it doesn't matter if he does it 1,000 times a day.
Now,
Object-
are you provided with a tool to measure window tint?
I am.
Are you able to use that while a vehicle is in motion?
I am not.
So if you have a reasonable inference that the window tint is too dark, do you effectuate a traffic stop?
I do.
What happens when you effectuate a traffic stop with a reasonable inference that the window's too dark?
After explaining the reason for my stop, I test the window tint.
Can you test it at night?
Yes.
Can you test it during the day?
Yes.
If someone's window tint is legal, what do?
I let them on their way.
If the window tint is too dark, then what do?
I take further action, whether that's issuing them a warning or a citation.
Now, in this case, based on your experience, did you have a reasonable inference that this window tint was too dark?
Yes.
Once you stopped the vehicle, did you conduct the window tint test?
Objection to relevance.
It's relevant if he confirmed that it was too dark.
By that time, we're saying it's already illegal, so it doesn't matter.
Objection sustained.
Now, does any officer or anyone have a test they can do on windows prior to stopping the vehicle if they have a suspicion?
Not that I know of.
Objection to relevance.
Objection sustained.
Judge, it's relevant because if there is
Objection
no,
sustained.
is there any device that you've been provided that can test a window before you have the reasonable suspicion to stop it based on your experience?
I'm gonna object to that as for a legal conclusion.
No, it's asking if he has a device.
Well, the request of before you, that's the
Objection
problem.
overruled.
Do you have a device that can test window tint before the stop?
No.
Do you have to stop the vehicle to test the window?
Yes.
In this case, based on the totality of the circumstances, the technique in which you were trained in your experience, did you have a reasonable suspicion her window was too dark?
I did.
Now, besides the window tint being too dark, was there anything else that drew your attention to this vehicle?
The driver herself.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna ask.
Wait a minute. The court makes inquiry.
Now, once you stopped this vehicle, was there something else that drew your attention onto it more?
The window was rolled partially down.
And did you run the tag on the vehicle?
I did.
Were there any issues with the registered owner?
She had a no bond warrant out of Butler County.
Now, but your initial stop was based on the window tint.
Correct.
Okay. And which window was rolled partially down?
That'd
I'm gonna
been-
object to relevance.
It's irrelevant because if the driver's side window was rolled partially down or the passenger side window was rolled partially down, if he can't tell that the other window was rolled down until he stops, that's further evidence that he couldn't see into the vehicle because he couldn't see her and he couldn't see into the vehicle.
I'm confused. Are you saying that the window
I'm
was partially?
confused also. What about the rolling down of a window makes it relevant as to the tint, percentage, darkness to the windows?
I'll withdraw the question. So deputy, when she drove by, could you clearly see the driver?
No,
Could you see if there was a passenger?
no,
Could you see anything into the vehicle?
no,
Is that normal?
no.
I'll pass the witness.
And Mr. De Hoyos,
The only reason you,
recross.
sorry, Judge, the only reason you stopped that vehicle is because the window tint appeared too dark as it passed you at night going 65 miles an hour. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. You said that based upon your training, you determined it to be too dark. What is the training you've had in identifying window tint being too dark?
Just at work.
What kind of training, like a national training like you did for your CLEs and for your law enforcement training, or was this something different?
Just my regular field training.
Okay, so in field training, they teach you how to use your eyes to determine tint values in a vehicle.
Correct.
So Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center has classes on how to identify.
Mr. DeHoya, I just said my field training. That was not my academy training. My
Okay, so
field training.
okay. And the field training, who provided you the field training on how to identify how dark windows are?
I was with numerous deputies.
Okay. And are they using a national program, something that's been federally approved or even
I
approved by any
don't
law
know.
enforcement?
I
Have
don't
you
know.
ever seen any literature on any of those things?
I've already asked and answered no.
Okay. And there's no studies you've seen about how observations could be changed by the direction of travel, the way the light hits anything behind it, nothing like that.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any further questions for this witness.
Any objection to the witness, Deputy Fisher, being excused from the proceedings? Ms. Gillette
No, Your Honor.
and Mr. De Hoyos.
No, that's fine, Your Honor.
And the Deputy Fisher, you're free to stay or go if you wish. Have a
Real
good day.
quick, Judge, Jill, are we still on the next case with the Williams with Judge Hart?
Yes, you'll have to stay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Yes,
What-
Belinda, could you
what
say
ca-
again?
The Williams case, which case is it?
Alexander Levon Williams was also set for a motion today.
It was moved out to December the 18th. That's what I have.
Motion on the Williams case pursuant to my AA Belen has been rescheduled to December 18, 2025. So with that being said, any reason why the Deputy Fisher may not be excused?
No.
Ms. Gillette,
Nope, he can be excused, Your Honor.
Deputy Fisher, you're free to go or stay as you wish.
Thank you,
Judge,
Deputy.
also, Deputy Chandler and Deputy Postier were here for the Williams case too out of Wilson County.
I believe they can be excused.
In regards to the Williams case that I don't have on docket at this time, I've been advised by Belen, my administrative assistant, that that has already been rescheduled to December 18, 2025. I don't know what time. Belen, by chance, would you know if it's in the morning or afternoon docket?
Sorry, I was on mute. It's in the morning at 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Belen. It's on the morning of Thursday, December 18, 2025 on the 9 a.m. docket. All right. Further evidence to present? Ms. Gillette.
The state will rest, Your Honor.
And evidence to present, Mr. De Hoyos.
Yeah, between the deputy testifying and the exhibit, that's what we have.
Thank you. Council request any argument in regards to the motion?
Please, Your
Ms.
Honor.
Gillette,
Yes,
please proceed.
Your Honor, in a traffic case and a traffic stop, officers do not have to have probable cause beyond a reasonable doubt. They have to have a reasonable inference. An inference is much, much, much lower. An inference can be being in the vicinity of a burglary and matching a description of the burglar. An inference can be that they were seen leaving the building of the place where the crime is happening. They don't have to have the complete testing of an exact specific number. An officer is allowed to use their training and experience in the totality of the circumstances. As Deputy Fisher testified, it doesn't matter what's behind the car. He is focused on the front window of the vehicle. If I can do it as good as some of the officers in my jurisdictions have, and back when I was a defense attorney, can it be done? And I have tried to practice that. But the normal person with a normal eye doesn't know the same thing an experienced officer does. The Supreme Court has told us time and time again in several cases, they don't need probable cause, they need a reasonable suspicion. That is a Terry stop. A traffic stop is a Terry stop. Reasonable suspicion. Does not have to be probable cause. Doesn't have to be, I know that exact number beyond a reasonable doubt. It doesn't say that it has to be a specific number because there's not a device that can test window tint until you stop the car. It's a minute that they stop somebody, they test the window. If it's good, they get to send them on. If something else is wrong, they can have them for a further detention for more things, or if they need to issue a warning or a citation. This is very, very common with KHP, deputies, and local police. In this case, it's a deputy.
But Judge, this is a used tool every single time and time again, without any kind of studies to show that it's accurate, studies to show that it's amenable to these situations. We don't have any kind of evidence or science describing how that vehicle being behind it changes that reflect. And what if that vehicle is reflected? What if it's matte surface? We don't know because there's no science that supports the idea that this is reasonable to go about this way. Now, being right at the end of the day, that doesn't change whether or not the stop was initiated lawfully and legally. And so when we take this case in front of you, just this case, and we isolate it to its bare bones facts, what we have is an officer says he pulled over the vehicle because the window tint was too dark. He had to make that judgment in less than a split second as the vehicle traveled 65 miles an hour in front
lights, and there were other vehicles on the subject highway. The court finds a factual basis has been established. So this court determines the Deputy Fisher could not establish a reasonable inference or suspicion that the window tint exceeded the 35% darkness allowable by law. Therefore, the court does grant the defendant's motion to suppress.
Your Honor, the state asked the court to reconsider because you're ignoring the officer's training and experience that allows him in the totality of the circumstances and utilizing methodologies that are used commonly in law enforcement. Common methodologies are recognized. So we would ask the court
Grants the stay pursuant to the motion of the state herein. And I trust that once the appellate courts deal with the interlocutory appeal and provide the ruling back to this court, that counsel will give notice to this division for purposes of rescheduling any matters that need to go forward at that point in time. So the court's leaving it up, and I'll leave it up to the state where they are the appealing party, to place this back before the court after interlocutory appeal ruling by the Kansas Court of Appeals. Anything further to come before the court? Ms. Gillette
Nothing further from the state.
and Mr. De Hoyos?
No, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Deputy Fisher. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
There being nothing further to come before the court is in recess. Now, Miss Cowan, you need to stay in contact and communication with your counsel in regards to the status of the case and when you need to come back, if you do need to come back before the court after ruling by the Kansas Court of Appeals on the interlocutory motion of the state that Ms. Gillette has advised the state will be filing of the court's ruling today.
Okay.
Everyone, have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
you.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Ms. Cowan. Thank you, Ms. Wells.
Should I just call you? Oh, he already logged off.